Pretty much every self-help guru or millionaire entrepreneur you've ever seen probably preaches the importance of waking up early. You beat everyone to the punch, you answer your emails, you exercise, and by the time you do all that, you're just ready to kick some ass before anyone else even wakes up. It's daunting to a ton of people who probably think, why would I get up so early? I have no energy, there's no obligation. Hell no. Others would say the life-changing antidote that turned their life around was establishing that kind of routine. In this video, we're going to evaluate just how much truth is really behind that ideology and what you should be doing that best fits yourself. Now, why would anyone want to wake up before the sun even rises, especially when they're in that warm, comfy bed and they don't have to be at work for hours? I'm going to make up a scenario. Now, for example, you don't have to be at work or school until, let's say, 9 o'clock. You have a couple choices. You can just wake up at 8:30 and go right to work and get there on time. Nothing wrong with that. Or you can wake up at 5:30, get a couple things done in the morning and for a couple hours, then go to work at 8:30. That leaves you with 3.5 hours of time, so which is better? Hold that thought, keep it in mind, we're going to revisit that later in the video, but first let's backtrack. Before you take that into account, you need to understand the genuine importance of your sleep. Like many of you who are about my age, I learned this the hard way, so listen close. I played football through high school, but naturally I also played a ton of video games. Every day after I got back from practice, I'd get home, shower, plop down on the couch, and throw on Black Ops 2 Zombies till about 12:30, 1ish in the morning. I eventually learned from that, but for a long time, practice every single day was a crippling thought. After 7 hours of school, which pretty much lulled me to sleep as is, I was now expected to throw my body at a bunch of guys for 2.5 hours in 85-degree weather, running on 5 hours of sleep. Mind you, most of my minimal energy that I had going into the day for school was already being expelled in class, so football became something I didn't look forward to like I should have. I feared practice, I feared being disciplined by my coaches as a result of my poor performance. This is where I learned just how valuable my sleep duration was. After that season, I wasn't a senior yet, so there was more football coming for me in the future. But after that season, I started to make sleep a priority. Now, mind you, I had no discipline at this point in time. So I'd ensure I got some good sleep during the week, but when the weekend came, I was out with friends up till about 2, 3 a.m., which sucked because I worked a job at 8 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. So 5 hours or so of sleep on weekends typically, but I kept my routine during the weekdays. I was thinking to myself, I usually get 8 hours of sleep during the day. Why is school and other areas of my day still such a drag? I hardly have the energy to move. My first step to true self-discipline came in this area. I now made changes and some sacrifice and prioritized my sleep heavily. Started getting to bed at about 10 every single night so I'd wake up at 6 for school, ensuring my 8 hours. Weekends, I had myself staying up till about 11 so I'd be up by 7 for work, still getting that 8 hours of sleep. Now, I wasn't perfect. There was the occasional function where I'd be up later, but that was the foundation I developed, and that to me made all the difference right out the gate. See, like I was in sports, so my body needed time to recover, and for such a long time I neglected it what it needed, but now I was starting to give it that, and that kind of woke me up a little bit. I was a more social person. My interactions of all kinds just came easier to me. My grades went up. I found myself being more confident and moving with more intentions. Most significantly, I was putting on so much more muscle and my performance on the field improved drastically, as well as the weight room. My practice was no longer something I dreaded. Developing that foundation is not the easiest thing to do, but I promise everyone watching this it does not take long to develop. It took me a few weeks, but then it became very habitual. Now, if you don't think you can get that 8 hours of sleep, which you can, you probably just don't want to, and sure, the occasional 7 hours a day. I mean, that can happen, things come up, but let's shoot for 8 every time. But if you can't do that, don't even think about trying to develop a consistent cycle or even getting up early. Your body is not healthy, and you must make changes because your body demands that sleep. It is being consistently denied. It results in faster aging, lower energy, worsened memory, lower attention span, increased stress, all of which increases your potential for cardiac arrest, erectile dysfunction, and decreased testosterone production, and increases periods of physical and mental recovery, leaving you more inclined to injure yourself. There's way more. It's a long, terrifying list that continues, so yeah, let's make that change. You'll be glad you did. Now that we established the significance of getting that amount of sleep, we have a good foundation for developing the discipline. Let's transition to when you should wake up and get to bed. At this point in time, I wake up at 5 a.m. and I get to bed at 9 p.m. 7 days a week, 0 exceptions. It fits my schedule and works best for me. Here's what I mean by that. Now, consider your priorities. Are you someone who works out 4 to 5 days a week? Are you someone that works the night shift? Are you someone that must answer a bunch of emails every day? Let's revisit that hypothetical situation we touched on earlier. You have a 9 to 5 job. Let's say you work out an hour and a half every day, and you answer emails for about an hour in the day. Assuming you already implemented at least that 8 hours of sleep, a great way to get up would be to get up at 5:30. Once you wake up, you exercise and you take a shower. We'll call that 2 hours. Brings us to 7:30. You make breakfast. That is extremely important. I'll touch on that in a little bit, but that is important. Never skip breakfast. But you answer those emails for an hour while you eat. Brings us to 8:30. Time to leave for work. Think about it, seriously. You woke up, ate breakfast, got great exercise, dealt with your emails, showered, ready to go. You did in 3 hours what most of the population wouldn't do their entire day outside of their job. All before you even went to yours. Think about that. All the possible stuff you had going into your day as a stressor, you alleviated. Just gone. Done. You did it. That's huge. 99% of people don't do that shit. You did it. And on top of that, you've already been up for 4 hours. So you're wide awake going into work. You're a beast. While your colleagues are dragging ass and drooling over their keyboard, you're cranking your workout like a freaking pro. And believe me when I tell you this, your employer will take notice of that. You're the guy out of all your friends who got their shit together, showed up, took care of work, took care of business, kicked ass without a worry in their world. You will be admired for that, directly to your face. When dudes who are older than you look up to your character, you know you're doing it right. You know you're doing it right. Be the freaking guy everyone wishes they could be. So before I get too carried away, let's take everything we can act as a stressor for your day. Evaluate how long it takes to complete said tasks and wake up accordingly. Crank those out before you go to work. Not only will your stress be gone, you're wide awake because you've been awake. What more could you want? And I hate hearing people who tell me they don't eat breakfast. How do you expect to function on an empty stomach after you didn't eat for 8 hours? Before that, you were sleeping. You were sleeping for 8 hours. You haven't eaten in 8 hours. You need to eat breakfast. Breakfast is essential. No ifs, ands, or buts. Your body needs nourishment. And that is what your mind and body rely on. Make breakfast a priority. Okay? Always a priority. All right, let's review. It's really simple, guys. Ensure 8 hours of sleep a day. Your body needs that more than you know. Take the stressors of your day and complete all those before your job. You will not perform at 100% if you're going to work stressed and tired. So get all that done. You must eat breakfast. That is your brain food, your fuel. What are you're not gonna put gas in your car? Nah, it'll be fine. Don't say, I don't have an appetite, I'm not hungry, I don't have time. Those are all excuses that will be crushed with your newfound self-discipline. It doesn't need to be huge. Some toast and eggs or a bowl of cereal is fine if that's what you've got. Something is always better than nothing. And when it gets close to bedtime, put your freaking phone away. Set a timer beforehand that helps you give your brain time to detach from media. You'll fall asleep much easier. I encourage all you to try this for 2 weeks. Not 1, 2. Give yourself some time to make it a habit and gauge just how much better you feel. If something I said in this video doesn't apply to you or your situation, change it to your liking. The steps themselves, though, are concrete. They are essential. Every single one. 8 hours of sleep, eat breakfast, eliminate stressors before work, and get to bed on time. So before I finish up, my verdict is that waking up early will not make you more productive. But establishing a routine while prioritizing the right amount of sleep will. The times do not matter as long as the routine is consistent and it fits you. Remember that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, drop a like and subscribe. All the support is appreciated. Ring the bell to be notified when I drop more stuff like this. And on that note, man, I'm out of here. Take care of yourselves, better yourselves. Peace.